we have invited as a representative of the petition T-PET 65 and T-PET 76, Mr. Sylvanus E. Olympio to be with us. Mr. Olympio, having come from Aviland, is now with us. I want to express on behalf of the Council our welcome to Mr. Olympio and our delight that he can speak personally to us about the Togoland situation. May I introduce Mr. Olympio and ask him to proceed with his oral presentation. Mr. Olympio.
Monsieur le Président et membres du Conseil des tutelles, je vous demande de me permettre de m'adresser d'abord à la délégation française en expliquant pourquoi je fais mon exposé en anglais. D'abord, je fais l'exposé en anglais parce que je représente ici non seulement les EV qui se trouvent aux côtés du Togo français, mais aussi les EV qui se trouvent dans la région qui est sous l'administration britannique. Et aussi, j'ai fait cet exposé en anglais plutôt pour la commodité du Conseil des tutelles. Mr. Chairman and members of the Trusteeship Council of the United Nations, I bring you greetings from paramount chiefs, chiefs and elders, signatories of the EVE Convention and the EVE people. They regret that the time limit given to their representatives to appear before you does not allow any of the chiefs of the EVE people to be present. We are, however, deeply grateful to the Trusteeship Council for this unique opportunity so generously afforded us to present our case before this international body, one of the great organs of the United Nations. The EVE country lies along the Gulf of Guinea on the west coast of Africa. It has an area about 10,000 square miles and thus is nearly as large as Palestine or Belgium. Its population is approximately 1 million. Its first contact with Europeans dates back more than 3 centuries, but it has known effective European administration only since the last quarter of the 19th century. In 1914, British troops advancing from the west and French troops advancing from the east occupied Togoland. From 1914 to 1920, the British occupied the western half, including the port of Lomé, whilst the French occupied the eastern half. After the peace treaty in 1920, the British handed over about 2/3 of the former German Togoland, including the port of Lomé, to the French. The country was thus divided into A, Togoland on the British mandate, B, Togoland on the French mandate. As the result of these partitions, my country is now split into 3 sections. The agitation for the unification of Everland is becoming more and more intense. During the last war, difficulties arose between the French and the British governments, and as a consequence, contact between the EVEs living in the British and the French zones, respectively, became very difficult and sometimes altogether impossible, especially during the years of 1940-1942. The aim of this organization is to coordinate the EVE demand for the unification of their people under one solitary administration. It does not solve the basic problem. In order to ensure orderly and true progress of my country, we must have a common educational system, the same political organization throughout the land, and economic unity. And this, in our opinion, can only be brought about by the complete unification of the country under one administration. the Ewe people earnestly petition the Trusteeship Council to investigate this problem on the spot, knowing that our claims are just. I have been asked to entreat you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Olympio. We appreciate your clear and lucid statement. Now, as Mr. Olympio has expressed the willingness to answer questions, I should be very happy if any of the members of this council who desire to put questions to him do so at this time. Representative for Iraq.
Mr. President, just to start the ball rolling, I have 4 questions to ask. Do you think I ought to ask them one after the other or one by one?
I think one after the other, and I suggest that you ask such questions as you have in mind, and then each representative separately will ask such questions successively and receive answers.